All right. Get everybody's attention. All right, y'all ready to get started?
I'm ready. You ready to get started?
Yeah, it sticks out, but
This one's called the Admiral Akbar.
Akbar.
Akbar. Admiral Akbar. Yeah. Very cool pattern. Very easy to tie. So this one we actually use
Gamagats actually makes a hook now for carp. It's called G Carp. Super sharp, really good stout hook. So I think that's what kind of sets it apart a little bit. All right, so we'll get started. Use any color thread. I'm just using red for a hot spot, but you know, you can use any color thread. It really doesn't matter. You could. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm bad about that. You can tell me when it's in focus.
Autofocus and just look up for this.
I can move it.
It's fine.
That good?
Yep.
All right. All right. So we're gonna start a thread. Just start it like you normally would on the shank. Y'all should have a set of fluorescent bee chain eyes. You're gonna tie them in on the top about one ball width from the eye. Or in this case, it'd be the bottom, actually. So secure them pretty well, because there's a theory about carp that the glue actually will deter the carp. Some people have the theory, so we don't. So no glue on carp flies.
Tie it like you don't.
We haven't proven that theory yet, but I think they might prove that theory at the Dirty Carp. So be a good challenge. So.
They like how it smells in the canal. Just the way
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it could be an attractant, you know, you never know. Okay. So this one you want to come back on the bend of the hook about halfway down the bend with your thread. Can y'all see that? Is it still in focus? Okay. I'll let some of y'all catch up.
That's halfway.
Yeah.
Like to the barb. Pretty
Yes, yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, so what's going to happen is when you tie your tail in, your tail's actually going to stick up.
Right.
It's going to like stand up. Okay, everybody caught up? Okay, next we're going to take your, this I have some, this is some Mataka soft hackle I've had. If anybody recognizes that place, I've had it for that long.
They probably can't read it.
Can y'all see it on the,
oh, Watson. Gulf Coast outfit.
that was in the backpacker.
Yeah.
That was it Rich?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was on
Yep.
Corporate Boulevard.
So yeah,
A pair of waders
He
up
started
Yeah.
somewhere else and then he went there, right?
yeah. Yep, Rittner, that's right. So everybody should have a we're not gonna if you have a small piece, you can use the tip. I typically just like to take about half of this off, and I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to use that as the tail. But you can use the tip as well.
Rich used to tie the epoxy spoon flies.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty much familiar. So you want it all to be even, right? So like pull it away from the stem and then cut it so the
Right.
tips are all the same
Put it in
length.
front of the camera. What you doing?
You keep it the stem or no?
No,
Cut it off the stem, but
yeah, cut it off the
kind of
stem.
like if you're like doing a pheasant tail where you pull it
Yeah.
all straight away from the stem and then cut it.
Yeah. Or if you want to use the tip of the feather, you can do that too. There's two different ways. I just think this gives a little more motion, but it's not. Yeah. For this particular feather. So we're going to take that, tie it in. I usually do like 3 loose wraps, and then cinch down on it. And we're going to bring your thread down to where when the fly rides upside down, it's going to actually kind of stick up in there, stick up in the water. Okay, then we're going to come back and we're going to cover that up. Put your thread back to the base. And take half of the dubbin we gave y'all.
Volume.
Okay. This we're not doing a double loop. We're just gonna dub it like typically. I forgot the dubbin wax, but just gonna take dubbin and just dub it, make a dubbin noodle. Kind of like that. Doesn't have to be neat or nothing, just because you want it a little bit buggy. Okay. Now you're going to wrap it. Now don't wrap it all the way to the eyes. We're going to come back a little ways from the eyes. Go about 3/4 of the way up. So it looks something like that. Okay. Now this is where you're going to take your Hungarian partridge feather and you're going to strip off all of the fuzzy part on the bottom. This is basically like a soft hackle, like you would tie a soft hackle. And we're going to strip the feathers back like this to where we have our triangle in the tip.
Did you snip the tip? Or
No.
No. Okay.
No. Just use that to, so we're going to take it, we're going to tie it in. This one might have been missing some feathers on it. But,
Yeah.
snip any excess. Okay. It does help if you have some hackle pliers. I have an extra set if anybody needs it. I probably have, yeah. So we're going to take this and we're going to wrap about one and a half to 2 wraps, depending on how much feather you have. So when you wrap it, I like to just wrap it flat like that. You're gonna take your thread and just wrap back over it. And come back. Here, we're gonna snip that off. Okay. Now, we're going to take all these fibers and we're going to pull these fibers back.
So you didn't really palmer this feather, you just make it flat, you said?
You could, yeah, it's palmer, but I lay it flat. It's easier to tie in. Lay it flat, and then we're going to use the next set of dubbing to make it swoop back. Okay. So I've kind of, whenever I pull the fibers back, that way all of the colored side is on the top, not the underside.
So only a carp would like it.
Delicious.
Oh, I'm sure carp are very picky. I'm sure that makes a difference, but okay, so now we're gonna take some more of your dubbing. I always like to just take small amounts of dubbing because it's easier to work with. Now this one we're gonna wrap 3 or 4 on the back side, and then we're going to cross wrap around the eyes. So it's sometimes it's easier to just get small amounts of dubbing because you can always add more. Okay, this is where you want to take the hackle feathers and you want to make sure they're back, and you're going to use this to make them swoop back. Okay. Okay, once you get a little bit of dubbing there, put some more dubbing on, and now we're going to cross wrap over the eyes a few times.
Any method to the cross wrap or just kind of?
Just like a figure 8.
Okay.
Okay. So you can get a better look at that. Okay.
So you wrap the feather.
Palmer the feather kind of 3/4 of the way
Okay.
up the shank, and then we put dubbing in front of that just to make it swoop back. Okay. So now just take a little bit, if you don't have any left on there from that, and we're just going to put a little bit in front of the bee chain eyes. probably a little bit too much. All right, after you put a little bit in front of the bee chain eyes, just gonna whip finish it. That's it.
No glue.
No glue. So for a no glue fly, you typically go like 4 wraps and lock it in, and then do 3 more on top of that. And it won't come off. Let's do like 2 sets. Okay. And I'm just kind of picking it out a little bit because I don't want it to kind of flow a little bit. And that's it. Super easy fly. I'm sure the brim would love this fly too.
What's the name of it again?
Admiral Akbar.
Like from Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with the 2 weird
Can't be
eyes.
trusted.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Huh?
He looks like a carp.
Yeah, he kind of does look like.
He looks like a carp. Exactly right. Yeah. So yeah, and I just kind of trim it up just a little bit. You can leave it buggy or you can trim it, either one. But yep, that's it.
Thad wanted us to announce that there's still one more spot in the bunkhouse for the Lake Concordia trip, which is April 20th through 22nd or somewhere around those that weekend. So if anybody's interested, still some space, but it sounds like we got a pretty full crew. So
Okay.
looking forward to it.
All right. Everybody finish up that fly? Everybody? Good? Okay. So the next one is called a hammerhead. And see, this one, we're going to use a little bigger hook. We'll use a 4 for this one. I'll have to do some more dubbing too. If you want to hand this 3 materials.
We got about 18 of them?
I feel like I handed out a lot more than 3.
Count the eyes, they got more than that.
How many species do you?
I don't know. Like 15, 16, something.
Looked like you didn't have a big day yesterday? Saturday. Ben's doing well.
Yeah.
Kevin Andre's doing well also.
Ben caught a shadow bass just driving on his way out somewhere else. So it's a good weekend.
Yeah, I've started catching a few. All right.
You got about
I think I got 11.
12, 13?
I don't know, I didn't even count.
That's good.
Well, Joe, you get rid of a lot of peppermints here.
Okay.
Got more.
Just chew them right away.
Oh yeah.
He's taking them away from Randy.
Not me. Get over there.
Oh, you're passing around?
Yeah, get some over here.
He's trying to get rid of them, Jack. You want it?
No.
Take as many as you want, I have more.
Now, if it was a sack of crackling, that would have something to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. Make it use.
Well, if you're gonna do that, why don't you just put some Buddha balls out for us too?
Our stack of crackers
I go to the business.
You really go for it down through? Wow.
Your insurance is better than mine. I get 2 visits a year, and each time I go in there, all they listen
All right.
about is LSU football. So I must have really healthy teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get you 30 minutes of your time.
Well, watching
right.
LSU baseball, you probably grind me.
So this one,
Yeah.
this one has 2 sets of beads. So we're going to tie in the center set, tie it in the middle on the top. And you want to leave just enough room just so you can whip finish on the front. We're not going to put any materials on the front.
What color thread you using, steel red?
I just changed to the natural color of the of whatever dubbing I'm using, but you can use whatever color.
Randy, if you don't use the right color thread, you just can't go carp fishing.
You know, I bet you the brim don't have any problem with it.
That's a mouthful for a brim.
No, the other one looks like a brim would work good on.
Big old brim you're talking about.
Yeah, the brim kinda have a little old pooch mouth. Well, he said the water was so dirty in the canals in New Orleans that they couldn't see the fly but about, 6 inches away.
Yeah.
So you
Sounded
had
like
to-
it.
Basically had to hit them with it.
So basically this acts as a rattle.
So what I wanna know is.
That's what that's about.
Is there a catfish fly?
No, these are metal. Yeah.
Fluff butt works good on the catfish.
Fluff butt?
So does the Concordia special.
Yeah. What?
6 pounders down in the spring.
That's what it's supposed to represent. So it's supposed to represent like a rattle, right? All right. So rattle. Yeah. Okay. So once we got that on, we're gonna come back. This one, we're not gonna go back as far. We're gonna go about where the barb is. Let it hang about where the barb is.
Like 2 love bows.
Okay.
Quite a little upright.
What? Okay. So next we're going to take, when y'all get ready for that, we're going to take our crystal flash, the 3 strands. Take it, half it, put it around your thread. We're going to tie it. Like that will just come out the back. We're going to trim it all when we get done. So you can trim it now or trim it later. I like to kind of trim it all together.
Strands you have coming out?
There should be 6 total.
Put it half around your thread, then it's give you the tie in.
Same number as the eyes, huh?
If you put it around the thread,
That's right.
yeah, like that, and then hold on to 2 ends of it, or actually the 4 ends of the crystal flash. Oh, yeah, that's the nice way to do it.
Okay. Next, we're going to take our legs. We've got 4 legs. It don't matter if they're straight because we're going to cut them a little shorter anyway because we don't want it to fly too long. Same method. But this one, we're going to advance our thread a little bit forward about to the tip because we're going to want these to kind of spread out a little more. So put them in the same place like that. And just kind of tie them in like that.
Stay on top of the hook or just kind of spread
Yeah.
around? Down
So when we
top
get to the back, what you want to kind of do is you want to kind of take 4 on each side.
Did you say you wanted to tie them in double like you did that?
Yeah. Yeah, so you're gonna end up with 8 legs. Double the amount of eyes. Okay. So just spread them out as good as you can. And then this is where we're gonna take,
Just take them like this. Go around.
yeah, just drag them around.
Pull it up. Don't get tangled in your eye.
Yeah.
Wrap 'em in.
All right.
And move them around a little after you get a couple.
Yeah. Then when we get a couple wraps in, then you're gonna kind of spread them out on each side of the hook. And you're gonna tie them on the back. They're gonna be kind of on the side of the hook, 4 on each side. If y'all can see that.
How far are you going back? All the way back to
Same play. It doesn't. You want to kind of stay on the top of the bend. This one doesn't need to go all the way to the bend. So when it comes off, it's going to be. I come with another wrap under.
Whole tail.
Yeah, just kind of hold it up a little bit. That. Okay. Now,
So, how many legs do you have coming off the back?
8.
8?
They're very particular. Okay, so this one, I have another.
Just don't expect them to bite right away, because they have to come all 8.
Exactly. So, I have another dubbing loop spinner if anybody needs it. Or, you really don't even need a dubbing loop spinner how we're going to do this one. You can just use your finger. But I will say, if you have a pair of hackle pliers or something, you want to grab the end so it doesn't come unraveled, so you can kind of, because we're going to spin it. So, but I'm going to use a dubbing spinner.
So how much loop do you want?
So you're going to take, you'll probably have about 3 inches, 3 or 4 inches. It's always to have a little bit more, so you have a little, so you don't run out. Because you can always cut off, but you can't. Once you put the loop in, you can't go back. So then we're going to pull the thread all the way back. Okay. 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 So you got quite a bit of dubbing. This is a pretty buggy fly. So what you want to do is you want to flatten it out.
What, you want to loop it?
Right, you're gonna make a dubbin,
You're gonna stick it in the
Yeah.
make a loop like this, and then you're gonna.
So can y'all see that? How I made like a flat?
And then you have to spin it.
You could put it on the table too, and kind of.
We put it all the dubbing here, we're gonna use it again, the dubbing.
No, this is it right here. Yeah, this we're going to use all of it. So,
You just make it like a sheet of dubbing, right?
yep, yeah, just like that,
Like a brush.
just like a brush. Yeah. Okay.
This is a little tricky with the spin.
I'll pull that up so you can kind of see. Okay. Okay.
You're just dubbing up a short distance or all the way to the eye?
We're going to go all the way to the eye.
Okay.
Being it's so buggy though, we can use wide wraps because we're going to brush it out. And once you brush it out, it's going to flow.
You need to move your thread all the way up to your eye first, right?
Yeah, move your thread all the way up. I usually put it in front of the eyes just to get it out the way. So if you have a dubbing spinner, we're just going to spin it. If not, just use your fingers. Okay, like that. I'm just going to pick it out a little bit. So you don't have to pick it out too much because we're going to aggressively pick it out when you get done. Sometimes I find if my loop's not tight enough, I lose half my dubbing when I
Yeah.
pick it out. So that's why I suggest just to kind of lightly. Okay. This is where a rotary vise really comes in handy, but if you don't have it, I could show you both ways. Those hooks are sharp, so watch out for those hooks. Yes. Okay, so we'll start wrapping it, and when you wrap once around, then you're going to want to kind of pull back the fibers. And don't worry about if you get too close to the eyes, because you could just put it on top of it, and we're going to brush it out anyway. So go right behind the eyes. Super buggy fly. Okay. Now, what I do just to make it a little easier, since your thread is already in the front, if you take that little bit of thread left and just come around the eye, and this is just tied off the front.
Cut your thread.
I don't know what happened. Critical point too.
But it always happens. Still got it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it. It's effective thread here, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
So once you get it tied off, you kind of just whip finish in front.
I'm gonna whip finish in front. Yep. Yep. Okay. And once you feel like you've secured your dubbing loop, we're just going to cut it off. Be careful, don't cut your thread. Okay. Again, no glue on the fly, so we're going to do the same method as before. Double whip finish. Would love to see that theory disproven,
Yeah, right.
but I don't know.
See it
It could be
turn
the
away
edge,
from
though.
the-
You never know.
Nose.
I think something's wrong with this thread. Okay.
Like what kind of, what glue he used, or they used.
So many different kinds of glue, you'd be amazed that there are all kinds
So now everybody's at that point. We're gonna pull it. We're gonna just bug it out. Just take it and get it.
Hard as nails is not a blues. Would that work?
Yeah, it's the smelliest stuff there is.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're trying to avoid odor, I don't know.
POC's in it.
Hard as nails has more odor.
Yeah. So once we brush it out, then we're gonna brush it back. See, just like that. And that is it.
You'll brush it to dubbing?
Yep.
Yeah, how long you got your legs?
So now the legs, I would say about 2 inches off the back. You want a little bit to where it'll, what is that, 2.5 inches? And just cut it even.
So everything's the same length?
Yeah.
Legs and flat.
Yep. And a flash, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't need to have a tape or nothing.
About how long did you say?
About 2.5, 2 inches, so. That's it. So y'all see that?
What's this called?
It's called a hammerhead. So. It is, man. I really like this tie. Easy to tie. Few materials. I could see this is a good bass fly too. I don't know if you can hear the rattles, but the metal on metal. But so yeah, if you shake it a little bit, you can hear it. So yeah.
I agree.